Good afternoon. Okay, friends, good afternoon. In this session, we are going to discuss about your stock queries. So if you have not posted your queries till now, you can post them right now in the comments of this video. Then along with your queries, we'll also be discussing about Nifty, Bank Nifty levels in view. Along with that, we'll also look at the DOW chart, which is the exchange, which is the index for the NYSE, that is New York Stock Exchange. And along with this, we'll also look at the chart of the crude oil price, that is NYMEX crude, which trades in dollars. And along with this, we'll also discuss some of the some stocks, some stock charts which are looking interesting on the charts. Fine. So shall we start with your queries first? Welcome to everybody who's joined the session. So let me start with your queries. The first query is from Pratik Kotari ji, and he's asking about Subex. Let me check the chart of Subex for you. Pratik ji, if you have joined the session, this is the chart of Subex. Your queries first. Okay, this is the long-term chart of Subex. Now, looking at this chart right from so for the last 10 years, there are certain things which can be clearly seen on the chart. One is this horizontal line that I have plotted right now. This is a very important level. How is it important? It's important because if you see the period between 2012 and 2020, for 8 long years, you can see that this level was acting as a resistance. So you can see that the price has faced resistance at this level, the price has faced resistance at this level, and then after that, so for 8 long years, the stock traded below this level of 18 rupees, and then finally in 2020 the stock managed to break past this level. Okay, so this is positive. Now what has happened is, if we go back a little bit, so say for example we go to a period around 2010. So if we go back to this 2009 and 2010 level, there are plenty of resistances which you can see. So the recent high that the stock made last year is in that resistance band itself. So you can see this here. See, these are all resistances, and these are tough kind of resistances. Why are they tough resistances? Because during I just increase the size of these lines so that they are clearly visible. You can see in 2009, 2010, 2011, this is the same level from where the stock had fallen down. So this is a very tough resistance. So the price has to break past this resistance for the stock to make a rounding bottom formation. A rounding bottom formation is a formation which tells about change in fundamentals. And what has happened is the stock did not break this level, whereas it faced resistance at this level of 73, the same level where it had faced resistance during 2009, before that as well, even in 2008, 2010. These are all resistances you can see, and the same resistance was faced here again. So this move that we witnessed in 2020 and 2021 has faced a resistance, and now the price has fallen. Now at current levels, if your query is related to a position that you're holding in this stock, then I would suggest that you have a stop loss below 18 rupees. Currently the stock trades at 25 rupees. Yes, this level of 18 is still way down, 20, 25, 30% below the current level, but then also that is an important support on the charts. So I'll just now zoom the chart and show you the recent price candles. See, so this is the level where there is an important support. So you should have a stop loss at around 17 rupees 80 paise in this stock. See as to how the stock reacts at this level. If there is buying interest which can be seen again, then yes, quite possibly the stock can head higher, in which case we will review the stock. But right now the stock is facing selling pressure. It's in a downtrend and it's approaching a support level. So therefore this support has to be watched. If this support is broken, then you need to exit the stock. So I have a stop loss at 1780 and keep watching, keep a track on it. If your query is related to a fresh position, you want to enter fresh trade, then I would suggest you still wait for some time, wait for some more confirmation on the chart. Once we understand that yes, there is good kind of buying pressure that is coming in, then we can think of getting into a fresh trade, right? So this is your query related to Subex. Now I'll just close these charts. Next query that you have is related to Dhani. If you look at this chart of Dhani, it is also trading with weakness, as you can see. Now this, I'll just plot a horizontal line, 1 second, and then I'll also zoom the chart so that you can see it clearly. See this, the level that I've plotted is a very important level. So around 58. I'll zoom in, then show you the chart properly. 1 second, I'll just do the plotting. So these levels between 67 and 58 for Dhani was a very important kind of support. So you can see it here. 1 second, I'll just reduce my size on the screen. So that you see the chart properly. So if you see this chart, I've plotted these two horizontal lines which are at 58 and 67. So you can see on the chart that this level here has been acting as a resistance historically. Then it also proved to be a support here. So very important level. So a level which is acted as a resistance in the past has acted as a support too. And right now, if you look at the current price is trading below this level. So it has fallen below this level of 58 and 67. So therefore, this tells me that the weakness is going to deepen. So what are the next levels that the stock can fall down to? And now, why are we looking at that longer chart? Because right now, at the levels that the stock trades, there is no other support level that I can see immediately on the chart. So therefore, the next support is directly at levels that it made during 2016 and 17, as you can see. See, I'll just try to zoom in, see. So the next support now for the stock is at 18 rupees. Currently the stock trades at 30. The next support is at 13. So 18 and 13 rupees are the next support levels. So either you wait till the stock falls down to those support levels and then maybe decide what is to be done, or better you exit. Ideally, the exit should have happened when the stock broke below these support levels, the horizontal lines. So band between 58 and 67, when that was broken on the downside, that's the exact point when ideally an exit trade should have happened if you have an existing position in this. But if you have not, then even right now the stock looks like it's going to trade with weakness and the support is deep down. Around 18 rupees and 13 rupees is the next support. You can exit and maybe take a review at around support levels, or think of getting into some other stock whenever you come across a good kind of an opportunity. So that is one strategy which I can think of in Dhani right now, right? So Pratik Kotari ji, these were your two queries, Subex and Dhani. Next query is Manoj ji. Manoj ji is asking about TATAELXSI and Tata Steel. So let's start with TATAELXSI. Okay. Okay, this is TATAELXSI. Now you can see I have plotted these two trend lines here. TATAELXSI right now is trading in a range, and it's trading in a narrowing range, as you can see it here, right? I'm sure you will be able to see these levels. Now these points are supports, and we have resistance here. You can see multiple points. So I've joined all the tops and bottoms that the stock has made in the last 3-4 months, and I've plotted this trend lines. So now you need to wait for the stock to generate a breakout either above or below these levels. So what are these levels? So right now, looking at the current price, 8350 is the higher end of the range, and the lower end of the range is somewhere around 7625, right, or 7600 we can say. So if you want, I'll write these levels here, 7600. So this is the support for the stock right now. Support at 7600. And the resistance is at 8350. So wait for the stock to generate a breakout either above this range or below this range. Once that happens, that will be an opportunity for you to get into a fresh trade, right? So you have these two levels that I have written here, 8350 and 7600. So wait for the stock to generate a breakout, decide its trend. Till the time the stock trades between these two levels, avoid a trade because it will be a more of indecision kind of a trade, more of a choppy kind of a trade. So avoid a trade between these levels. Once the stock managed to break past, validate the breakout. Once you have validated the breakout, then you would think of getting into a trade in that direction. If you are already in my WhatsApp broadcast, if you get updates from me, then you would get an update about if there is an opportunity in this stock, you will get an update about it immediately, right? So this is TATAELXSI. Second is Tata Steel. Tata Steel also is trading range bound right now. See, earlier the range for the stock was between levels of 825. One second, I'll just tell you the exact levels here. See, earlier the range was between 827 and the upper end was around 895. That was the range. Now what has happened is the price tried to move up, but then it did not sustain at higher levels, and it is again, so on higher side it is facing resistance. And see the kind of sharp fall that the stock has witnessed. So if I take you to the monthly chart first, looking at this monthly chart here, you will find that the sharp kind of a fall that the stock has witnessed till now, it is finding support at a very important level, a level which is in the past acted as a resistance, a very tough kind of a resistance. And why do I say that it was a tough kind of a resistance in the past? Because if you see the way the stock moved between 2002 and 2007, this kind of a sharp move, the stock came to this resistance band, the same band where the stock is trading right now. So around that 850 and 900 mark. And that is the point from where the stock witnessed a sharp kind of a fall down. So what does this mean? This means that this band here, the resistance that the stock had faced here in the past in 2007 and 8, this tough kind of a resistance is right now acting as a tough kind of a support for the stock as the stock is falling down. You're getting my point? So therefore this is a positive. So 827 and on the upside, I'll tell you the higher side as well. One second. So this band between 827 and 886 or 900 is right now acting as a support for the stock, which is a positive. So you've understood how it's reacting. In the past, this level has acted as a tough kind of resistance in 2007 and 8, and right now as the stock is witnessing a sharp kind of a sell-off, this level is again helping it by acting as a support. So this is one level which we need to watch right now, not overreact, because there is a lot of talk about metal stocks being under pressure and metal stocks going to face more and more selling pressure, that kind of thing. You should not get into that. You should not get stuck into that kind of a talk here, but you should watch these levels. Now, currently the stock has created a range for itself between 827 and 929. So it's not that it's trading on supports and therefore it may bounce back immediately. Quite possibly after witnessing a sharp kind of a fall that it has witnessed in the last 4-5 months, after this kind of a fall, quite possibly the stock may try to create a base at these levels, 827 and 929. These levels could help the stock create a base for itself, and then maybe going forward in the future, whenever the stock decides a direction, we could see a bounce back as well, or a further trend can be decided. So if you are holding a position in this stock, then you should hold it with a stop loss below 827, which is the support for the stock. So your stop loss has to be below 827, so it could be 825 or maybe 820 on the safer side. That should be a stop loss for your existing position. If your question is related to if your query is related to whether you should get into a fresh trade, then I would say not yet, because the stock has not is not yet showing those kinds of confirmations of getting into a fresh long trade. But whenever it manages to do so in the future, we can think of that. So right now, for an existing trade, have a stop loss at 820. Right? So these were your queries, Manoj ji, related to TATAELXSI and Tata Steel. Okay. Next query is asked by Ambadas ji. Ambadas Kulkarni ji, this is your query. It is related to HEMIPROP and SREI Infra. Okay, so let's check the charts. Okay, this is the chart of HEMIPROP, HEMIPROP, Hemisphere Properties, I believe. Okay, so since listing the stock, so the stock went up initially, and after that, as you can see, the stock is continuously trading in a, so basically it's in a consolidation or a downward correction also. You can say from 200 the stock has a downward correction, surely from 200 the stock has come down to levels of 100. So yes, that's a downward correction. From higher levels the stock has come down by 50%. Now at current levels the stock has a support. So you can see this support at these levels. I'll just plot a horizontal line here. This is a monthly chart. So one candle is for 1 month, as you can see. Okay, so level of 95 is a support. So for the last few months, the stock has not broken below this level. So that is a positive. If you're having a position in this stock, then I would suggest you have a stop loss below 95, because this is the support right now. So you have a stop loss at 93. So if the stock breaks below 95 and it continues its downtrend, then I think you should exit, hold cash, or shift to some stock which is showing a good kind of an opportunity. This is Hemisphere. Now, if you have to think of higher levels, then see there are plenty of resistances for the stock to break past. So 125 is the first resistance. So basically the stock has to come out of this correction first. See, 125 and 132 are the immediate resistance levels. So the stock has to break past these levels. Then we can think of higher levels which might get activated. So you can ask me again if these levels are broken on the higher side. If the stock continues to trade between this support at 95 and resistance between 125 and 132, then it will trade in an with an indecision, or this is an indecision phase basically for the stock. So no clear direction as of now. So existing position, hold with a stop loss at 93. No fresh positions right now. Your second query is related to SREI Infra. Okay, this is SREI Infra. SREI Infra also is trading in a downtrend. It's been trading in a downtrend for the last many years. Now it's trading at 4 rupees. So ideally, now what can I say? You can see the kind of fall. Now such a fall can happen only when there is something seriously wrong in this. Now, so if your query is related to getting into a fresh trade because the stock is available for cheap, then I would say no. It is a clear no. Wait for some clear direction or some clear signals from the stock that yes, there is buying interest which is coming into the stock. If that happens, then yes, maybe we can think of getting into a fresh trade, but as of now it is a no fresh trade. If you even have an existing position, then you can think of exiting, because right now the price chart is not showing anything happening interesting on the business front, right? So this is SREI Infra for you. Next query is asked by Sudhirji, is asking about Tarsons and AWL. Okay, let's see the chart. Tarzan Products. Okay, this is all-time chart of Tarzan Products. Sudhirji, this is your query. Now if I have to plot levels, so this is the first horizontal line, level below this is also possible. So since listing, as you can see, the stock since listing was facing resistance initially at 760 and then later at around 790. What is this exact level? This, yeah, 790. Yes, 790. So 760 and 790 was a resistance for the stock initially, and you can see multiple times the stock faced resistance here. So it is here, then again here, then again these levels a little lower than that, but yes, these are all resistance levels. So this was a resistance band between 760, 790, and above that is, I believe, 802. One second, I'll just check the exact level here. This level is, yeah, 800. I'll just write those levels here. So right now the stock is trading above this. So these are all support levels. So first support is 800, second support is 790, third support is 760, right? So these are the support levels for the stock as the stock trades at 823. So it is trading above these levels, and therefore these levels are going to act as a support. So here I'll plot it. One second. Okay, now I will zoom to the current chart. Now when you look at the current chart, the stock, after breaking the recent resistances and making them supports, the stock is managing to trade above these levels, right? So you can see it here. So the stock moved up, and after that, here you can see the stock is consolidating, right? And this consolidation, as you can see, is above these levels, which is a positive for the stock, right? So it is above these levels, so that is a positive. So if you are holding if you are having a position in this stock, then you should have a stop loss below 790. So 800 and 790 is the immediate support. Ideally your stop loss has to be, a safer stop loss would be below 760, because that's the third level, but then 760 would be deep down. So therefore, if you have a short-term position, then have a stop loss below 790. So it could be 788, and hold till the time respects this, till the time the price respects this support levels. Now, as and when the stock manages to break past the current consolidation, we can discuss about higher targets as well. So when that breakout happens on the higher side, so when the stock manages to break past levels of 860 on the upside, you can ask me again for higher targets. So we can discuss about higher targets, what time frame, and all those things that can be done once the stock manages to break past this resistance at 860. Right? But right now, hold with a stop loss below these support levels. So your stop loss will be at 788. This is Tarzan Products for you. Next query is about AWL. So this is Adani Wilmar. Okay, now if you look at this chart, I've already plotted this black color horizontal line on the chart. This level is acting as a support. So till the time the stock does not break below this level, there is no reason for worry. So if you are holding a trade in this stock, continue to do so till the stock respects this support level of 540. So you should have a stop loss at 530 in this case, right? Here you can see the stock has respected this level multiple times. Now upsides, the stock is also facing a resistance, no doubt about it. So you can see, right? So the resistance is also there, but once the stock manages to break past these resistance levels, so first resistance is around 660, 665, second resistance around 760, third resistance around 860, 870. So once the stock manages to break past levels of 660 and 665, then we can also review higher targets in the stock. So that also is possible. But right now the stock is in a consolidation. It's in a narrowing kind of consolidation, and you should hold with a stop loss right now at 530. This is Adani Wilmer for you, right? So these were your two queries related to Tarsons and AWL. Next query is put in by Sunil Muleji, and he's asking about LIC and HSCL. Okay, Sunilji, this is LIC. we have discussed in the last video as well. See, what had happened is, as I had explained in the video that I did last time in my live session, see, first a downtrend. So since listing, the stock had been in a downtrend. Then in the last 1 month, the stock created a base for itself. So this level of 650 was acting as a support, and this level of 710 was acting as a resistance, right? So you can see multiple times. So the stock was trading range bound between these levels, as you can see with the arrows that I have plotted here, right? So it was trading range bound. And now what happened was 5 candles back. So this is Monday. So on Monday, the stock managed to close above this level of 710. Now, when the stock did this breakout, so whenever the stock closes above a resistance, we will ideally call it a breakout, right? But every time you would hear this from me multiple number of times, that the stock, whenever a stock generates a breakout above resistance or below support, it has to be a valid breakout. So what do I mean by a valid breakout? Basically, the easiest thing for you to do, or the simplest thing, or the first thing for you to do is verify the volumes. So it is not only me who should look at that breakout as a valid breakout, but it should be lakhs of people out there who should also see that move as an opportunity. If people see that move as an opportunity, they will automatically come and they will trade that stock. And once they trade, they may not send you an SMS, or they may not send you a WhatsApp message that yes, I have traded this stock, but you will get to know it in form of volumes on the price chart, right? But in this case, in case of LIC, volumes were missing when this breakout happened. And if you have seen that video, in that video I had explained that there are chances that because the volumes are missing, the stock may get back into the earlier trend that it was trading, or the range bound trade that it was trading, it may get back into that range. So if the stock continues to trade below 710, then it will continue to trade between 650 and 710, which is a 60-point range for the stock. The stock has to generate a breakout above the current levels. Once that happens, then yes, the stock will head higher for levels of 830, 840 as well. But whenever that happens, so if you are in my, if you are a member of my mentorship program, if you are in my WhatsApp broadcast, if you get updates from me, then whenever I see an opportunity forming in this particular stock, you will get an update. But right now, the stock is creating a base for itself, and this base creation may continue for some more days. This is LIC. Your next query is related to HSCL, that is Himadri Specialty Chemicals. Okay, now see, if you look at Himadri Chemicals, last week the stock broke past this resistance at 8550. Now what is this resistance at 8550? Now this I have made the chart as monthly. Now on the monthly chart, you will be able to see this resistance. See, this resistance at 8550 is a level which has acted as a resistance in the past. Okay, so multiple times this level has acted as the resistance. And last week what had happened is, so this is on the monthly chart, and Himadri Chemicals will become interesting. This also was discussed in the video last time in the live session. Now if this stock has to become interesting, then the stock has to break past this level of 85.50 on a monthly closing basis, because this is a monthly chart. And if that happens on a monthly closing, then you can see initially a downtrend. So right from 2017-18, the stock was trading in a downtrend. Then a base creation. Here you can see the sideways trend. And if the stock managed to close above 85.50 on a monthly closing, then the stock would start a fresh up move. So we will have a trend change upward breakout forming on the chart when that happens. But that is on a monthly closing. So now first thing is, either I wait for a monthly closing, or right now what I can do is, I say I don't want to wait for a monthly closing. I want to get into a trade now. So what I can do is, till the time, now this is a daily chart, till the time the stock trades above 85.50, I continue to hold my position or hold a long position. Whenever the stock starts trading below 85.50, now for example, if you look at this candle, Friday's candle, the stock witnessed selling pressure. The stock went below 85.50. It went down to make lows of 82.50, and from there the stock retraced up back and closed above 85.50. So basically, it's not that it's only you and me who's looking at this level as a important level for the stock. Now as the price trades above this level, it's going to be acting as a support. So it's not only you and me who's looking at this level as an important support level, but along with us, there are people in the market who are trading this stock who are also looking at this level as an important support level, right? So you should watch. Now if you want to have a stop loss for a long trade, then ideally the low that the stock made on this day is 82.50. So you can have a stop loss at 82 or maybe 81 or maybe at 80. That can be a good kind of a stop loss, right, for a long trade. This is HSCL. So Sunilji, we have discussed your two queries, LIC and HSCL. Okay, next query is put forth by Nitinji, and he is asking about Mindtree and NEULANDLAB. Nitin Gyanchandani ji, this is your query. Okay. See, Mindtree also we had discussed in the last live session that I did, and see, you can also see the study that I had plotted that day. Now Mindtree is trading between this range here, as you can see. So this I had plotted on that day itself, and I explained you these two levels. So you can see the stock is trading in a narrowing range. So support is at 2775 and resistance is at 2960. So Nitinji, you can see that the stock is trading range bound right now, and for the stock to decide a range, for the stock to decide a direction, the stock has to first break past any of these levels. So either the stock breaks below the support level, or the stock breaks above the resistance level, and then we can have a direction, in which case we can also have a trade in that direction, right? So you have to wait for the stock to decide a direction in case of Mindtree. Okay, the second query that you have is NEULANDLAB. See, this is the long-term chart of NEULANDLAB, that is monthly chart of NEULANDLAB, as you can see. Now after having gone through a correction recently, the stock right now for the last 4-5 months is trying to create a base for itself. So after witnessing this sell-off at current levels, you can see that it's trying to create a base for itself. These 4-5 months that you can see is when the stock is trading in a sideways kind of a trade. So this range right now is between levels of 960 and on the upside it is 1375 to 1475. So it's this kind of a range for the stock right now. 1 second. Here you can see. So the stock has this range from 960, 970 on the downside, that is the support, and 1375 and 1474 on the higher side, that is the range. So the stock, again, same view, the view that we had in Mindtree, which is trading range bound. This stock also is trading range bound, and this stock also has to decide a direction for the stock. So either it has to break past the resistance levels, or it has to break below the support levels for a further direction, further targets to be decided. This is your query related to Neuland Labs. Okay, next query. One second, I'll just tell you. The next query is put forth by Datta Jadavji, and he is asking about IRCTC and BPCL. So let's check the chart of IRCTC first. So let me open the chart of IRCTC. Okay, IRCTC also we had discussed recently. Now, as you can see, last time also I discussed about this level of 639 and 618, the horizontal lines that I have plotted. Now, this level is was a very important level for the stock. This was a support level, and the stock has broken below this level. So this is a sign of weakness. As you can see, I will come to the daily chart, and till the time the stock trades below this level of 618 and 639 or 640, the stock will trade with weakness. So I'll zoom the chart so that you can see it clearly. Now another thing is, there is also a support level for the stock, which the stock has created for itself in the last 1 month or 20-30 trading session days. See, these are the support levels. I'll also write the support levels on the chart. 1 second. So the support for IRCTC, is between 557 and 568. So this is the support band. So if your query is related to a position that you have in IRCTC, then I would suggest you have a stop loss below this support band. So you can have a stop loss at 550 for your existing trade. Upsides, we can talk about upside or upper targets in this stock only once the stock manages to break past the resistance levels. And what are those resistance levels? You can see the resistances start from a recent level of 605, then 618, and the final one is 640. So these are the resistance levels for IRCTC. So if you already have an existing position, then have a stop loss below the support level, and have a stop loss below the support level. If you're thinking about higher targets in this stock, then the stock has to break past these resistance levels, in which case we can also discuss about higher targets. So for right now, in a case of IRCTC, watch these resistance and support levels, right? Dattaji, this is your query related to IRCTC. Second is BPCL. BPCL also has been trading with weakness for the last few months, as you can see. So right from So for the last approx 1 year, the stock has been trading in a downtrend. As you can see here on the chart, it's continuously in a downtrend. The only positive which I see on the chart is right now it's approaching support levels. So that is a positive, but it's not that immediate levels are support levels. There is a support band that the stock is approaching, which means there can be more lower levels which can be witnessed. So as you can see, a good kind of support directly is at around 237 to 40 levels, right? You can see this is the support band between 237 and 290. They're very big band as you can see. On the short term charts, you can see the stock is in a downtrend. That means it is moving down, making lower tops and lower bottoms, which can be clearly seen on the chart. On immediate short term levels, support is at around 306. Sorry, 304 is the immediate support level. I'll just write down the immediate support levels here, 304 and 293. These are support levels for your BPCL. 304 and 293. These are support levels for BPCL. And the resistance, as you can see, is here. These multiple tops here, you can see there are multiple resistances which start right from 332 and they go on to 332, 334, 334, and this one is 336, right? So multiple resistance levels here. I'll also write the resistance levels. Three 334, 336. So the multiple resistance, the resistance band there. So for the stock to move up or for us to discuss about higher targets in this stock needs to break past this resistance first. So once it manages to do so, the higher levels of 360, 380, 400 would get activated. But when would that happen? That will happen only when the stock manages to break past these resistance levels. Right now, if you're holding a position in this stock, then have a stop loss below 293, which is you can have a stop loss at 290 for a long trade. If you're thinking about a fresh trade in BPCL, then get into a fresh trade only when the stock manages to break past above 336. Once that happens, then you can think of getting into a long trade. If you're already in my broadcast list, if you already get updates from me, then whenever there is an opportunity in BPCL, you'll immediately get an update from me. But till that time, hold a low profile. Okay, next query is asked by Ravindra Pujari ji, and he's asking about LAURUSLAB. Ravindra ji, this is the chart of LAURUSLAB, and as you can see, the stock is facing resistance at the current levels that it trades. Yes, it witnessed a sharp pullback recently, so you can see that, but then at current levels there is also a resistance. So resistance is between levels of 520 and 530, as you can see on the chart. That is the resistance. So I expect that I think that the stock will remain more or less at current levels. If your query is related to getting into a fresh trade, then I would say not right now. Wait for a good kind of a trade. The real opportunity was when the stock broke above this resistance here at 470, 472. That was the real time. If you are holding a position, then I would suggest doing partial profit booking in this stock, and then later on, whenever it generates a fresh invitation, you can think of coming back. So do partial profit booking in this stock if you are already bought at a lower level. If you have not bought at a lower level, then the stock is facing resistance at current levels, and quite possibly it can slide down to levels of 490, 480. Okay, your next query is related to CANFINHOME. This is CANFINHOME. You see, CANFINHOME also, after facing selling pressure recently, is trying to create a base for itself. So this base creation, see, there are multiple levels that can be plotted here. Let me start with plotting a level at around 487, right? So from 487, four 515, 524, these are all resistance levels for the stock. So I think that the stock will continue to trade in this base formation for some more weeks before we see a move in this stock. So 487, 515, 524 are levels for you to watch. On the downside, the support is deep down. It is around 406. Got it? This is CANFINHOME. So these were your queries, Ravindra Pujari ji. The next query is about Tata Steel and TECHM. Tata Steel we have already discussed, Prakash ji. So if you go a little back, you will be able to, at the start of this session itself, in the first 5-10 minutes, we have discussed about Tata Steel, which is trading range bound between 827 and 929. Okay, you have one more query which is related to TECHM. Okay, let me show you chart of TECHM. Now all IT stocks have been trading with weakness recently. Now here on the chart you can see I have plotted these two horizontal lines and you can see how important these levels are. So if you look at this chart, you will find that the horizontal lines that I have plotted at, these are levels which had acted as a resistance in the past, also as have acted as support. One second, I'll just see, this is the support here, and again the price is facing support at the same level, right? So this is a positive thing. So till the time the stock trades above 915 and 943, there is no reason for you to worry. Now I believe you have an existing position in this stock and therefore the query. If this query is related to getting into a fresh trade, then I would say you need to wait for the stock to show us signs of strength again. Whenever the stock does so, at that moment you can do a review, or you will also get an update from me whenever there is an opportunity in TECHM, if you are in my broadcast. Okay, WhatsApp. Okay, so this is the support that I have mentioned, 915 and 944. This is the support band, and on the higher side, this is the resistance. Resistance is at 1033, 1034. Right, so right now the stock is trading in this range. Let this range bound trade be complete, and then we can have a review at this stock. So once the stock managed to break past above 1034, you can ask me again for higher targets, or if the stock breaks below 944 or 915, the support band, then we can think of getting into a short trade as well, an opportunity on the short side. That also is possible. These were your queries, Prakash Sherkar ji, Tata Steel and TECHM. Okay, next query is asked by Naveen Bhojani ji, and he's asking about FSL and ONGC. First we'll see FSL. Okay, this is the chart of FSL as you can see on the chart. See, FSL, the real time to get into a trade in FSL was when the stock broke these multiple top, multi-year, multi-top resistance levels. So this opportunity was in 2020, 2020. See, this was the band that the stock was facing resistance at, and this band was acting as a resistance right from 2007 to 2020. So for 13 long years, this band was acting as a resistance, and then later on in 2020, last quarter of 2020, the stock finally generated a breakout on the upside. Now after the breakout, the stock doubled in the next few months, and after that the stock has been trading downwards in a downward correction. Now right now the stock, if you look at the current closing, then you will find that the stock is trading on support level. Support level means it is, so it went up like this, it came down back, and right now this level here is acting as a support. So the level which was acting as a resistance in the past is now acting as a support level for the stock. Here you can see These are support levels. So support is between 84 and 93. So if you're having an existing position in this stock, then you should have a stop loss at 82. If your query is related to getting into a fresh trade, then I would suggest you should wait for the stock to show us signs of something interesting happening on the chart at that support level. So not only you and me should look at that level as a support, but it should be lakhs of people out there who should look at that level as a support. They should come, they should buy, they should create some kind of a bullish formation on the price chart, interest on the long side, and then maybe we can take a view whether to get into a long trade or not. So this was your query related to FSL. Now next query, your next query is related to ONGC. ONGC is not doing anything on the price chart right now. 120 is a support level for the stock, and 130, 135 is the resistance for the stock. As you can see, it's just drifting downwards. So if you have a position in the stock, have a stop loss below the recent low, that is, have a stop loss at 118. And once the stock breaks past 130 on the upside, levels of 155, 165 would get activated. But do have a stop loss at 118 for your long trade. This is ONGC. Next query is asked by Satish Arora ji, and he is asking about Infosys. Satish ji, this is the chart of Infosys. As you can see, so same like other IT stocks, Infosys also is trading with weakness. Currently trades above short-term support. As you can see, I'll just tell you the support and resistance levels. And this also the Infosys also is trading range bound, as you can see. So the range is between 1367 and 1557. So a 200-point range for the stock. Yes, there are levels in between as well. So a closer levels, if I have to identify, would be at 1515 or 1516. It would be a resistance much closer to the price right now, and the support would be at around 1410. So currently the stock trades at 1430 and 1410, and 1516 is the immediate resistance and immediate support level. So the stock is trading range bound. The stock has to break either the resistance on the higher side for us to take a review on for a long trade or for a bullish view or the higher targets, or the stock has to break below support levels, in which case we can think of getting into a long trade. But right now this is an indecision phase. Okay, your next query is related to HDFC Bank. Satish ji, HDFC Bank and HDFC are going through a merger. So there is a merger which is going to happen in the next 1 year, 1 to 2 years. And whenever there is a corporate action happening in any stock, you will not see price moving at that particular point of time. The price will start moving only when the merger is through, and when people start seeing further opportunities or further limitations or further hurdles in the business because of that merger, only then the price will start moving. So right now, as the process is still going on, the price will continue to remain range bound. The range would be between 1270, which is a support on the downside, and 1420, which is a resistance on the upside. So the price will continue to price will continue to trade range bound between 100 and 150 rupee band for HDFC Bank. The same view would also apply for HDFC. The same view would also apply for HDFC, which would also trade range bound, right? Okay, next query is asked by Brajesh Singh ji, and he's asking about Reliance. See, Reliance also currently is trading range bound. The range for Reliance, you can see this is the short term chart of Reliance, and the range for Reliance is 2300, 2350 being a support on the downside, and 2600 and 2800 being the resistance on the upside. So at current levels, that is the range. If you look at extreme short term chart, so if you look at the last 2 weeks of chart, then you'll find that the stock also has a smaller range that it trades into. So I can plot a triangle here. See these levels. I've joined all the higher and lower points here. Now I'll just increase the thickness of the triangle and also change its color so that you can see it clearly. So for the last 2 weeks, the stock is trading between this range here. The stock has to break past above this resistance at 2425, which is a resistance, or below 2374, which is the support for the stock. So the stock has to break above resistance or below resistance for a trend to be decided. You can plot this on your machine as well, so that you would get to know when the opportunity strikes, because you are not in my broadcast list. So everybody who's in my broadcast list, whenever there's an opportunity in Reliance on the long side or on the short side, you will immediately get notified. Okay, now when you look at the chart of POWERGRID, your next query, which is related to POWERGRID. POWERGRID also recently had shown a good kind of a up move, but then for the last 1 month, the stock has been under selling pressure, and the stock has come back down to those support levels around 200, 205. So right now the stock is trading with weakness. Possibly in the next 2 weeks, we could see the stock coming down to test that support at around 205, and maybe after that we could see a further direction being created in the stock. So that is quite possible. So watch these levels. If your query is related to you holding a long position in POWERGRID, I would suggest you a stop loss below the support. So around 198, you can have a stop loss in the stock. If that triggers, then exit. If the stock respects levels of 205 and manage to generate buying interest, then it could also go back to the recent highs that the stock had made around 240 and 245. That also is possible. But for the existing position, hold with a stop loss at 198. This is Brajesh Singh ji. Your query is related to Reliance and POWERGRID. Okay, next query is asked by Jayesh Pandya ji, and he is asking about, Jayesh ji is asking about ZOMATO. Jayesh ji, ZOMATO recently had displayed a strong kind of an up move, good kind of buying which was witnessed in the stock, but then the stock failed to sustain at higher levels. The stock failed to generate the same buying interest at higher levels, and the stock has come down. So as you can see on the chart, this was the up move that the stock witnessed during the month of May. But then since after that, the stock has been in a downtrend and it has come back to the earlier lows that the stock had made. So right now, looking at the price chart, now if this query is related to a position that you're holding in this stock, you should watch these support levels very closely. If these support levels are broken, then you should think of exiting. So where is the support? Support is between 52 and 50. This is the support level for the stock. So you should have a stop loss at 49 for this case. If 49 is triggered, then you can think of exiting the trade. This is ZOMATO. Second query is related to DMART. DMART also is trading range bound. We have already plotted these horizontal lines here. The stock is trading range bound, as you can see. It's a big range, no doubt about it, but yes, the price is trading in this range. So right now, as the price trades at around levels of 3926, there is a resistance at 4050 and there is a support at around 3850. This level 3850. So I'll just move this horizontal line here. You see, you can see this. So 3850 is the support for DMART, that is Avenue Supermart, and on the higher side, the resistance is 4050. Okay, this is the short term range. the stock has to break past either above this resistance of 4050, or it has to break below 3850. If it breaks below 3850, it will fall down again to 3300 levels. If it managed to break past 4050 levels on the higher side, it would head for levels of 4200 and 4300. So right now the stock is trading range bound, as you can see on the chart here. So for the last 7 trading sessions, the stock is going through a sideways kind of a trend. These were your queries, Jayesh Pandyaji, related to Zomato and DMART. Okay, the next query is about IDFC First and Rajglow WIR. Okay, let's see that chart. These queries were put forth by Sudhir Gambhirji. Okay, first we'll go to IDFC First Bank. The IDFC First Bank has been trading with weakness for the Sudhirji. You can see the chart of IDFC First Bank here on the screen. This is the monthly chart of IDFC First Bank. Now, as you can see, it's continuously trading with weakness. So there's no, so all upsides, the stock is facing resistance. If you're holding a position, I would suggest an exit the stock and get into some other opportunity, or hold cash and wait for some good opportunity. If you want to know what good opportunity can be there in the market, if you're in my broadcast list, then you'll get to know that whenever I post you an update. Okay, which is this next stock, Rajglow. Okay, Rajglow. Let me search. Okay, this is Rajratan Global Wire Limited. Okay, so on BAC, the symbol is 517522, and on the NSE, the symbol is Rajratan. On NSE, the symbol is Rajratan Global Wire Limited. Okay, great. Okay, this is the chart of Rajratan, and as you can see, the stock has been trading in an uptrend, right? So for the last 2 years, the stock is trading in a steady uptrend. If this query is related to a position that you are already having in this stock, then till the time the stock continues to trade in this uptrend, you continue to hold. You can have a trailing stop loss below the recent lows. You can have a stop loss at 700 for the stock right now. For an existing position, if you are talking, if this query is related to an existing position, then have a stop loss at 700. If you want to get into a fresh trade, then I would suggest that you wait for a breakout to happen, a breakout above this level. See this horizontal line that I have plotted. So this level is of 847. So wait for the stock to break above this level of 847. Once that happens, then you can think of getting into a long trade. Put a stop loss below 847. So you can have, after a breakout, you can have a stop loss at 840, and then aim for levels of 980 or 1000 on the upside, right? This is your query related to Rajratan. Okay, so now I am done with the queries that you had posted to me through our website. So we have discussed stock charts of Subex, Dhani, TATAELXSI, Tata Steel, Hemisphere Properties, SREI Infra, Tarzan, AWL, then LICI, HSCL, Mindtree, NEULANDLAB, IRCTC, BPCL, LAURUSLAB, CANFINHOME, Tata Steel, Tech Mahindra, FSL, ONGC, Infosys, HDFC Bank, Reliance, POWERGRID, ZOMATO, DMART, IDFC First Bank, and Rajratan Global. Okay, so we have discussed all these queries till now. So 30 stocks we have discussed till now. Okay, now we will come to the queries that are being posted on the on the channel right now, right? So now I'll take the queries that you have posted in the comment section. Okay, so if your query, if your query is not been discussed, or you have forgotten to put your query, then you can do it in the comment section right now. Okay, let me start. I start off with the comment section now. It is Vinay Bhatt ji who's asking about Hindustan Lever. Vinay Bhatt ji, Hindustan Lever, Hindustan Lever is looking interesting on the charts. See, recently I'll tell you, it's also looking interesting on the chart. You can check detailed analysis of this. Okay, this is Hindustan Lever. Hindustan Lever recently made a trend change upward breakout formation. As you can see, it was 6th of July. So if you go to Precision Assist on the top, and if you go to 6th of July, Hindustan Lever, you can see the detailed analysis here. The stock had made a trend change upward breakout formation. The price was 2498. The stop loss was 2395. The upside target was 2859. Risk reward ratio of 1:3. The target expected to be achieved in a time period of 67 days. You can see the detailed analysis here on the top. So this was 6th of July. Partial profit booking starts from 2623 levels. So 2600, 2623 is the point from where partial profit booking starts. Okay, along with that, you will also find detailed analysis on Hindustan Lever posted yesterday as well in Precision Assist. So you also do check that. So right now, Hindustan Lever is looking good on the charts. That is for sure. It's trading with good kind of volumes. Now, if you look at short-term chart of the stock, now this is the short-term chart. If you see this short-term chart, you'll find that the stock traded in a sideways kind of a trend for the last 6 candles. You can see this here. So this was the sideways trend that the stock traded in, and now on Friday, that is yesterday, the stock managed to break past this on the upside. So it tells us that this uptrend is going to continue. If you have a long trade, then you should have a stop loss below these levels. So you can have a stop loss at 2400, as you also saw in the detailed analysis that I showed you right now. Upsides to levels of 2800 should look possible if the stock continues to trend upwards, right? So stop loss at 2400. So this is Vinay ji, your query related to Hindustan Lever. If you are using Provision, then do check the detailed analysis that is available in Provision for 6th of July and also again for 15th of July. So both the dates you can check, right? This is Hindustan Lever. Rajesh ji is asking, Rajesh ji has a query related to persistent. So he has a query related to persistent, Emphasis, Wipro and Intellect. Okay, this is the chart of persistent. As you can see, the stock in the last 2 months displayed a strong kind of an up move, and you can see an equal and opposite reaction also in the stock price. So the stock went up, a sharp move on the upside, and an equal and opposite kind of a move on the downside happening right now. So this was the up move, and therefore we are witnessing a downward correction, right? Now this downward correction, now this is the monthly chart. Now if I go to the daily chart of this stock and try to find some support levels, see, the current level that the stock trades at is the support. So 3100 is the support level that you have to watch. If your query is related to a position that you have in persistent, then you should have a stop loss at 3080. Rajesh ji, this is for you. persistent, you should have a stop loss for an existing long trade at 3080. If this support level is broken on the downside, then the stock could head lower, and in which case the stock can fall down to levels of 27 to 2600 on the downside. So for your long trades, have a stop loss at 3080 levels. So this is the support at 3100 which you should watch right now. This is very important, and the stock has to respect this level, support level going forward. Okay, our next query is related to Infosys. Infosys also a similar kind of a chart, a strong kind of an up move witnessed between 2020 and 2022 for the last 2 years, a strong kind of an up move, and you can also see the kind of correction that the stock is displaying right now, and therefore the correction, right? A similar chart in both the cases. So coming to the daily chart to identify support levels, see here you can see the recent lows that the stock has made is a support level, a support band here available for the stock. So right from 2110, as you can see, to a lower level of 2070. So this is a support band for the stock. 2110 and 2070 is the support band for Infosys. If you have a long position in Infosys, I would suggest you have a stop loss below 2070, so you can have a stop loss at 2060. If that triggers, then you should exit a long trade, because if this support band is broken on the downside, then there are chances that the stock may slide downwards to levels of 1800 or even 1700 is possible, right? So this is Infosys, where you should monitor the support with a stop loss. Next is Wipro. Wipro cannot be any different from the other IT stocks that we have seen, and here you can see it's the same kind of a move which can be seen on the chart, a strong kind of an up move between 2020 and 2022, and therefore equal and opposite kind of a downward reaction happening in the stock, right? Okay, now let's come back to daily chart to identify support levels. Okay, see, so this is the daily chart, as you can see on the chart. Okay, here you can see that the stock has broken below a support level in case of Wipro. Now let me plot the study here. So this support has been broken, and therefore quite possibly the stock can move downwards. So till the time the stock trades below levels of 400, if this question is related to a long trade that you have in the stock, then I would suggest you exiting the trade. If you don't have a position in this stock, and if you are asking for a fresh trade, then till the time the stock trades below levels of 400, you should stay short in this stock. The stop loss for a short trade will be 406. On the downside, the stock can slide down to levels of 350. Got it? So Wipro right now is looking weak, and there is more downside expected in the stock going forward. For a short trade, I would repeat, the stop loss for a short trade is at 406. 406 is the stop loss for a short trade. So this is your query related to Wipro, Rajesh ji. Your last query is related to Intellect Design. Okay, let me open the chart. Okay, this is the chart of Intellect. This is not a monthly chart. Okay, this is the monthly chart. As you can see the chart, the stock had managed to generate a breakout. Let me show you. This is a monthly chart. The stock had managed to generate a breakout above this resistance here 3 months back, 3-4 months back. So this was the resistance band between 814 and 892. So the stock managed to break past this resistance, and what has happened is, so this month is March. So in the month of March, the stock managed to generate a breakout above this resistance here, and then next month onwards, the stock, the breakout failed, and the stock came down back again to test the support levels. Now looking at this chart, if you look at this level of 600, this 600 is a good kind of support. Why is it a good kind of support? Because you can see multiple times the stock has respected this level as a support, right? So this is a good kind of support here, 600. If you have holding a long position in this stock, then have a stop loss at 580. So 580 should be your stop loss for a long trade. And if the stock continues to trade in this range, then it would continue to trade range bound in the same way that it is traded till now for the last few months. Now this is approximately 1 year. Yeah, it is more than 1 year that the stock is trading in this range. So quite possibly this range will continue to be respected, and the stock will continue to trade in this range until and unless these levels are broken. So therefore, if you are having a position in the stock, have a stop loss at 580, because if the support is broken on the downside, then there would be further weakness which can take the stock down, deep down, right? So do have a stop loss at 580 for an existing long trade. These were your queries related to persistent emphasis, Wipro and Intellect. Okay, next query is asked by Sanjay Rupak ji. Sanjay Rupak ji is asking about GRP. Sanjay Rupak ji, GRP. Where did I read about GRP? Okay, GRP, Sanjay ji, I have already posted you about GRP some time back. GRP, I'll also show it to you on the chart. And GRP is also available in Precision Assist. The detailed analysis on GRP is also available in Precision Assist, Sanjay ji. So you can also check detailed analysis of GRP in Precision Assist. Plus, I've also posted an update about it on WhatsApp as well. Okay, now let me show you the long-term chart of GRP. Short-term analysis is available in Precision Assist, so I would suggest you to check that. Okay, now this is the monthly chart of GRP Limited. Now if you see this chart, and this is the same thing that I have posted to you on WhatsApp as well. See, in WhatsApp I have written that check BAC chart for this stock, plot a trend line joining all tops from 2012 till now. You can see the trend line that I have plotted, that is from 2012. So 2012 to recent, all tops have been joined by that black color trend line that I have plotted. You will find that the stock is currently making a long-term resistance trend line breakout. So what does this mean? This means if you look at the current candle, then the current candle is trading above this resistance trend line that I have plotted. So this resistance trend line, this black one, you can see it here, and now the current candle has gone above this trend line. So it looks like it's a breakout, but it's not a breakout. Why is it not a breakout? This formation, being on a monthly chart, has to be confirmed on a monthly closing, right? So this candle is a monthly candle which will be complete on the last day of the month. So on the last day of July, this formation will be complete, and it can be confirmed only on the last day of the month. Got it? So you have to confirm it on the last day of the month. This formation, yeah, such stocks are multi-bagger candidates. Okay, so such stocks are multi-bagger candidates. Now, if I have to give you some examples, I will show you some examples as well. A very good example is Radico Khaitan. There are multiple n number of examples. One good example is Radico Khaitan. Then there is Reliance. There are plenty of stocks. Whenever you have this kind of a long-term resistance line, trend line breakout happening, usually from there in the next 1 to 3 years, the stock is going to double. This is what has been observed. Okay, so another thing I've mentioned here, will keep you posted again when that happens on the last day of the month. So on the last day of the month, if there's a valid breakout, you would get an update from me. And right now, based on the daily chart, there is already an invitation which has happened. Okay, and the detailed analysis is already available in Precision Assist here at the top. So you can go to Precision Assist and you can check that detailed analysis for GRP Limited for date 15 July. Got it? So this should solve your query, Sanjay ji. Next query is put forth by Nikunj Patel ji. BLS which level buy for 1 year? Sanjay ji, BLS is already trading in an up move. Okay, so the stock is already trading in an uptrend. Now, if you look at the monthly chart, the invitation in this case happened much lower. So, if you see this stock, so it's not that you cannot buy at current levels, but Nikunji, it's not that you cannot buy at these levels. But see, the thing is, if you buy when an invitation happens on the chart, then basically at that point of time, your risk would always be lower than compared to a trade, getting into a trade at current levels. So if you look at this chart, in 2017, the stock made a resistance at around 140 levels. Then in 2021, again 140 and 154. So this was a multi-year, multi-top kind of resistance that the stock had made here. Multi-year, multi-top resistance, we call it. And then this year, 4 months back, the stock managed to break past this resistance. So 180 was the right level to get into a long trade in case of BLS, BLS International, right? Now, if this opportunity has been missed, then what do we do? Now we go back to, so on the monthly, there is no opportunity right now. On the daily chart, yes, there is an opportunity. And the opportunity is like, see, this was this 218 and 220 was a resistance band for the stock. And on Friday, the stock has managed to close above this level of 218 and 220. And I don't know whether you are a part of my WhatsApp updates, but in WhatsApp updates, I've already posted this to you, that 218 and 220 was a resistance band for the stock. Current closing is above this. So you can see that the current closing is above this resistance band. This is a positive formation and the stock will aim for levels of 239. Long should have a stop loss at 217. So this is an update already posted in WhatsApp. Okay, if you're already a member, then you must have received it. So everything is mentioned, stop loss is mentioned, target is mentioned, everything is there. So follow that analysis, and you can follow this chart as well. If you have access to chart, then you can plot these two horizontal lines here. Till the time the stock trades above these lines, you should stay long. The moment the stock price falls below 218, you should exit the long trade. This is a strategy for BLS. So your query, which level buy for 1 year? So you can buy it at current levels with a stop loss. If it continues to trade in an uptrend, then you hold on. So it could be for next 3 months, it could be for next 6 months, it could be for next 1 year, it could be for the next 3 years. Logic is, any stock which stays in an uptrend should be in your portfolio. The moment the stock changes its trend from an uptrend, the stock starts getting into a downtrend, you should exit. So there you should not be hard and fast. नहीं 3 साल के लिए लिया था, 5 साल के लिए लिया था, 10 साल के लिए लिया था. नहीं, मैंने अपट्रेंड के लिए लिया था. मुझे पैसे बनाने हैं, 100 का 200 करना है, पैसे बनाने इसलिए मैंने लिया था. वो साल कितने हैं, 6 महीने हैं, 1 साल है, 2 साल है, या 5 साल है, या 10 साल है, या 20 साल है, उससे मतलब नहीं है. पैसा मेरा बढ़ रहा है क्या, तो मैं पकड़ूंगा. पैसा नहीं बढ़ रहा है तो मैं छोड़ दूंगा. इट इज दैट सिंपल. Nikunji, I hope you got a solution on your query. Okay, next query is put forth by Bhopnit ji. This is related to CDSL. Okay, first we'll start with your queries. Okay, CDSL is your first query. Let's start with CDSL. The CDSL right now is you can see this is a weekly chart of CDSL. You can see that it's trading above these support levels 1015 and upsides to 1067. So this is the support 1060 and 1015. This is the support band for the stock. So till the time the stock respects this level, you should continue to hold. Have a stop loss at 1000 rupees for this stock. Right now the stock is in a correction, and this correction will continue for some more days before we see an up move. Okay, so have a stop loss at 1000. Your next query is related to Swaraj Engines. Swaraj Engines has a support at around 1440 levels, 1440, 1410 as you can see on the chart. These are support levels. If these supports are broken, I think you should exit the trade. Let's go to the monthly chart. See, on the monthly chart also the stock is in a consolidation, and this consolidation is big. So you can see if the supports that I talked about 1440 and 1410, if they are broken, then the stock can slide down to levels of 1200, 1100 also. So exit if the stock breaks below 1410. So have a stop loss at 1400 for Swaraj Engines. Your next stock is KPIT. So KPIT, okay, KPIT Tech. KPIT is also in a consolidation, as you can see on a chart. So it has a support at around 450, has a resistance around 556, 560 levels. You can see this consolidation here. So wait for the stock to generate a breakout for a long trade. Have a stop loss below the support levels. See, this is the support. And this is the resistance. So right now the stock is trading in this range, as you can see. So the support is at around 460 and the resistance is around 510. So once the stock manages to break out above or below this narrow range that it trades in, then you can take a review. But right now the stock is range bound. So watch these two levels. Your next query is related to Apple. Apple India also is a similar chart, as you can see. Most of the stocks right now are going through a similar kind of a formation, a sideways kind of a trend. So even right now, we must have discussed some 50 stocks till now, and you can see all these stocks are trading range bound. So Apple also is nothing different. This level of 1000 rupees, 1070 is acting as a resistance, as you can see on the upside, and on the downside we also have a support. A trend line also can be plotted, a horizontal line also can be plotted. So here you can see a narrowing kind of a range in this stock. Most of the stocks are trading in this way. So ideally the stock have to move above or below this range for us to take a further review. Whenever they do so, you can ask me again, and then we can look at higher targets or lower targets in the stock. So in this case, 980 is the support, 1070 is the resistance. A range bound stock again in this case. Next is JK Lakshmi Cement, that is your query. This also is a similar chart, as you can see. So JK Lakshmi is also a similar chart. Support around levels of 380, resistance around levels of 490, 500. So that kind of a thing. And right now it's in trading in a very narrowing kind of range, 420 and 440. So all these stocks are, as you can see, all these stocks are right now trading range bound. So you can see this range here, small range, big range. They are all range bound stocks. They have to move out of this range for us to take a view. Okay, KKCL. Monte Carlo detailed analysis is available in Precision Assist. You also have a query related to Monte Carlo. Okay, now the KKCL is trading in a strong kind of an up move, has broken past resistances at around 290 levels. So till the time the stock trades above 290, the stock should trade higher. It should trade bullish. So if you have a position in the stock, have a stop loss at 285 and upsides, expected upsides to levels of 400 in this stock. Okay, your next query is related to Monte Carlo. Okay, your query is I am holding with good profit. Yeah. Okay, so see Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo currently trades at 794. Just 1 second, I'll tell you. Monte Carlo has already reached its target right now. First of okay, so Monte Carlo. Okay, so this is the detailed analysis of Monte Carlo, as you can see on the chart. This was on weekly basis. The closing was 699. The stop loss was 658. The target was 901. Okay, and the time period is 15 weeks. 1:5 risk reward ratio. Partial profit booking starts at 735. So now in this case, currently the stock is trading at. Currently the stock is trading at 800. So the stock went up to levels of 840. Currently it trades at 800. So now how do you handle this kind of a trade? Now what you should do is you bought at So you bought at 700. Now currently the stock trades at 800. The partial profit booking starts at 735. So first thing that you do is, when the stock reaches your target, so say for example, if you have bought 1000 shares at 700 rupees, the stock goes to the partial profit booking level of 735. There you do profit booking in 20% quantity. Got it? So out of 1000 shares, you sell 200 shares. Take that profit. When you take that profit, you make yourself comfortable to stay in the trade, right? The next thing that will happen is, the stock will either reach your target or the stock will change its trend. So 5 candles later, you start monitoring the moving averages for trailing stop loss. So there are 2 things that can happen. One is the stock can either go to the target, or you will have a 513 crossover on the downside. Anything that happens first. So for example, if there is a 513 crossover on the downside, then at that moment you sell 50% of the remaining quantity, right? So 800 shares remain, you sell 400 shares at that crossover. Clear? If that does not happen, the second scenario, if the stock reaches the target of 900, whenever that happens, you do the same thing, sell 50% of the quantity. Now, why are you selling 50% of the quantity at target and not 100% of the quantity? The reason for that is, if your analysis is right, and if the price is moving according to your view, according to your analysis, then ideally the price should continue to move up with strength. And when the price is doing so, you should ideally be holding your position. So there is no reason for you to exit. You're getting my point? So therefore, what we do is we sell 50%. And it's not that we have a hard and fast rule. The rule is simple. Till the time a price remains in an uptrend, I want to stay. The moment the price changes its trend, who's going to tell you? The 513 crossover, the 526 crossover. So when they turn downwards, when they cross each other on the downside, that's the point where you exit. You no longer stay in a stock which does not stay in an uptrend. It is that simple. Got it? You have to follow this simple logic. In case of Monte Carlo also, take some profit so that you're not worried. I'm making good profit. What should I do now? No, take some profit. There's already a strategy in place. 20% profit booking at partial profit booking level. 50% profit booking at target level. Right? Again, 50% profit booking of the rest of the quantity whenever in the future 513 crosses on the downside. And when do I exit the final quantity? When 5 crosses 26 on the downside. So exit happens in 4 stages. Strategy fixed. No reason to ask. Till the time the stock remains upward, no problem. Continue. The stock is moving as per your analysis. You're getting my point? It's that simple as that. So these are solutions on your queries. Monte Carlo, KKCL, JK Lakshmi, Affle, KPIT, Swaraj Engine, CDSL. Maximum stocks right now are trading in a range or in a sideways kind of a trend. Okay, next query is asked by Subhajit Ji, and he's asking about Tata Chemicals, Balkrishna, JNFL, UPL. Okay, let's check chart of Tata Chemicals. Subhajit Ji, you can see this chart here. This is a monthly chart of Tata Chemicals, and as you can see, the stock right now for the last approx 1 year is more or less trading in the same levels. So range bound trade, as you can see here. You can see this is a range bound trade. So there is support around those levels of 800, 780, and there is resistance here around 1000. So that's a 200-point range for the stock right now. So it is range bound. So if your query is related to a position that you are having in this stock, then I would suggest you have a stop loss at around levels of 750. So that's a stop loss. Why should you have a stop loss? Because after going through a range bound trade, if the stock falls or breaks below the support level, then it would turn weak, and therefore you should have a stop loss at 750. But if it continues to trade in this range, then yes, expect the price to bounce back again to levels of 950,000 in the next few weeks. So that's what the price has done for the last 1 year, and that is what may continue going forward. Your next query is related to Balkrishna Industries. This stock also is doing the same thing, nothing different. These stocks are all right now trading. So you can see we have discussed some 60 stocks till now, or maybe more, and till now what has happened? Nothing. Range bound trade is what we have found in maximum cases. So this is the higher end of the range and this is the lower end of the range. You can see how it's trading in this narrowing kind of a band. 2350 is the resistance, and on the downside 2150 is the support. So a 200 point range for the stock right now. Once the stock manages to break past the resistance or break below the support, then you can ask me again and we can do a review. But right now the view is that it's range bound. Clear? Okay, your next query is related to your query is related to GNFC, I believe. If it is GNFC, then this is the chart. This stock also is nothing different. This also is trading range bound, as you can see on the chart. What is the range for the stock? You can see the support on the downside is 540, 560, those levels. 540, 560 is the support, and on the upside 640, 690 is the resistance. So this stock also is range bound right now. The stock has to, this is the range overall. So between 690 and 540, that's the range for the stock right now. This is GNFC. Your next stock is UPL. Okay, UPL was looking good. UPL we discussed in one of my live sessions last week, I believe. See, you can also see the study that is already been plotted. Okay, now what has happened is on the short term charts, this level of 670 and 665 was acting as a support, was acting as a resistance for the stock here in the second half of June. And then in the month of July, this is 7th of July, the stock managed to break past this resistance on the upside. But then last 6 candles, the stock has been drifting downwards. Yes, this level is acting as a support, no doubt about it. 670 and 665 is a support level. If the stock falls below 665, then you should exit a long trade. So the stock will remain bullish only if it manages to sustain above 665 and 671. If that happens, then yes, we could see more upsides in the stock. So for a long trade, have a stop loss at 660. 660 is the stop loss which you should have for a long trade. So Subhajit ji, these were your queries related to Tata Chemicals, Balkrishna Industries, GNFC and UPL. The next query is put forth by Pradnya Dhoke ji, and she's asking about SAIL and Bharat Forge. Pradnya ji, this is your query. The stock is SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited. See, most of the stocks, this cannot be any different. Most of the steel stocks, and it is most of the stocks in the market right now, and therefore you have to be very choosy. You have to pick your opportunities very carefully, and you should go by the opportunities which I post to you in the WhatsApp broadcast. So whatever I post in the WhatsApp broadcast are stocks which are showing some kind of an opportunity, right? So as you can see, this stock here, SAIL, this is the resistance around 78 levels and this is the support around 64 levels. So 64 and 78 is the current range, and as you can see, the stock is trading range bound between these levels. right? So shorter term levels 74 and 78 is the resistance, and 68 and 64 is the support for the stock. So till the time the stock trades between this range, it will trade in with an indecision. You need to have a stop loss at 63. 63 should be your stop loss. If that breaks, exit. If that does not break, continue to hold. We can take a review of higher targets only once the stock starts moving above levels of 78. So in which case you can ask me for a review, and we will review higher targets in the stock. Your next stock is Bharat Forge. Bharat Forge is also a similar stock, a stock which is trading in a correction and in trading range bound. And you can see that immediately when I show you the chart, you will be able to see it immediately on the chart. What is the range? Here you can see this is the resistance, and you can also see that it's trading in this kind of a channel, right? So a downward channel. So the price goes up, the price comes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, and again it goes down. It's trading in this kind of a channel, as you can see. This is Bharat Forge. If I have to talk about short-term levels, then 620, 610 is the short-term support, and on the higher side 660 and 680 is the resistance for the stock. This you can see on the chart. But overall the stock is in a consolidation. There is nothing great for me to talk about it until and unless it comes out of this consolidation. See, and you should be interested in stocks which are not in consolidation. Yeah, I can understand that these are stocks where you have a position, but ideally if you follow the strategy, even if the strategy the exit strategy which I explained right now to on Monte Carlo, if you follow that exit strategy, you won't be stuck in stocks where the stock is not performing for the n number of months. The stock has not performed and you continue to hold. That won't happen if you follow that strategy. So Pradnaji, these were your stocks, SAIL and Bharat Forge. Okay, next query is put forth by Mahesh Boraji, and he's asking about Vodafone. Vodafone, what should I do? Hold on. Okay, Vodafone has let's check. See, Vodafone is not doing much on the chart. Now the next trigger I think would be whenever there is 5G auction that happens, spectrum auction that happens, maybe that could be a trigger for the stock, and after that maybe we could see some interest. But then in that case, instead of staying with Idea, you could also go for Reliance or Bharti Airtel. That would be a better shift, because finally even if so when telecom companies benefit, it's like everybody is going to benefit. So Idea is also going to benefit, no doubt about it. But then who's going to be the winner? And you should also always stay with the winner, and the winner is going to be either Reliance or maybe Bharti Airtel, right? So you should stay with the top companies. So I think, see, looking at this chart, the stock is not doing much. So if I have to suggest you a stop loss, I can do that as well. So you can have a stop loss below this range, but then there's no point. The stock is drifting. So you can go with Bharti or you can go with Reliance, which are trading on support levels right now. Have stop loss below support levels. Something like that. That kind of a strategy can be implemented. So Boda, I would suggest exit, shift to Bharti or Reliance. Okay, next query is by Ibrahim Ji, and he's asking about HBL Power. Okay, HBL Power. See, HBL Power I had discussed in a video that I had made. One positive thing about HBL Power is you can see these red color horizontal lines that I have plotted. So these were acting as resistances right from 2007 till 2021, 2022 even. And right now the stock has managed to trade above this. So in case of HBL Power, the immediate support that the stock has is at 83 levels. So if you have a long position in this stock, you should have a stop loss below 83. So your stop loss can be at 81. So that should be a stop loss. Until the time the stock trades above 83, continue to hold. If the stock falls below 83, you should exit. 81 is the stop loss for this particular stock. Okay, this is your query, Ibrahim ji. Next query is put forth by Namdev Borse ji, and he is asking about Praj Industries. Okay, Praj, see, like most of the stocks, Praj also is trading sideways. So an opportunity you will have an opportunity in Praj only when Praj generates a breakout. And as I have told many times in many of my videos, that after a strong kind of an up move, so the kind of an up move that you witnessed in Praj, see this one, in 2020 the stock was trading around 40 rupees. From 40 rupees the stock went up to make highs of 400. So how much times did it go up? It went up by 10 times. So when a stock appreciates 10 times, the stock is going to go through a consolidation. And how long can this consolidation continue? This consolidation will continue for 1 to 3 years. 1 year is already gone. So I believe 2 more years of consolidation. So if you are a long-term investor in this stock, then you can continue to hold with a stop loss below these levels. So your stop loss would be at around 280. That is your stop loss. So hold with a stop loss at 280. Higher targets or a fresh move is possible only once the stock manages to break past levels of 450 on the upside. And whenever that happens, you would get an update. See, you can do 2 things. One, you can buy somewhere here and you continue to hold for these many months. जाएगा नहीं जाएगा, जाएगा ऊपर नहीं जाएगा ऊपर, ऊपर जाएगा ऊपर नहीं जाएगा, ऊपर जाएगा ऊपर नहीं जाएगा, नीचे जाएगा लॉस होएगा प्रॉफिट होएगा, लॉस होएगा प्रॉफिट होएगा. Man, why do you do that? No need to do it. If the stock is not performing, have a stop loss, exit. Yes, I know taking a loss is difficult, no doubt about it. But staying in that stock which gives you pain for months and months together is much more difficult. So better is for a fresh trade, wait for the stock to generate a fresh kind of a breakout. Whenever it manages to break past this resistance here at 450, that's the time when you can think of getting into a fresh trade. Got it? This is Praj Industries, which also trades in a resistance, a sideways trend right now. Okay, this was your query, Namdev ji. Hope I managed to solve your query. Okay, next query is related to, which stock is this? Qatari Spinning Mills. Do I have data for it? Let me check. Okay, Qatari Spinning Mills. This query is put forth by Bulls. Username is Bulls9481. Okay, I don't have a view on this stock. This stock is moving with circuits. Such stocks, they go up with circuit filters, they come down with circuit filters. There is no point in discussing such stocks. You should also avoid trading in such stocks which move up with circuits, because what happens is post-mortem in such stocks, like saying that I would have bought at 20 and I would have not waited till 480, I would have got out somewhere around 380 or 400 and made 20 times of returns is very easy, but doing that practically is very difficult. And when stock starts hitting lower circuits, they don't give you a chance to exit. So before you try to sell your trade or square off your trade, the stock has already hit a lower circuit and you don't get a chance to exit the stock. So therefore one should, these stocks are surely they are surely what you call, I can use the word, they would attract you towards them because they show you fast kind of a move and fast kind of profits happening. But then entry is also easy, exit is very difficult in these kinds of stocks. The stock trades a volume of 5,000 shares. Okay, even at times it trades lesser volume, 2,000 shares, 2,000 and 5,000 shares. No point in trading such stocks. So I don't have a view in these stocks, and I would suggest that you also should not get into these stocks which move up and move down in circuit filters. Navkar Corp. Next query is Navkar Corp. ADG is asking about Navkar Corp. Navkar Corp is one stock which I had discussed last time. Okay, and Navkar Corp had made a trend change upward, breakout formation, a rounding bottom formation on the chart in the month of in the month of April, right? And since then, for the last 3 months, the stock has been trading flat. So you should have a stop loss in this stock at levels of 38. In this case, EDG, this is for you. Actually, your query is related to short term. Short term, the stock is not doing anything. In case of Navkar Corp, in short term, the stock is not doing anything. In short term, the stock is trading range bound. 43 is the support level, upside 68, and 73 is the resistance. See, you should trade Navkar Corp only when the stock manages to break past the resistance at 73. When that resistance is broken, then you should think of a short-term trade to levels of 85 or 90. That is the approach you should have in case of Navkar Corp. Nothing right now. Next query is by Ramdas Chandilji, and he's asking about ITI. ITI, you should have a watch on ITI. ITI is not doing anything right now. IT is not generated an opportunity also, but right now it is looking interesting. And why is it looking interesting? You can see it on the chart here. Now what I have done is I have plotted a long-term trend line right from 1994. You can see this trend line that I have plotted is right from 1994 till the recent levels. So this level has acted as a resistance. You can see here it acted as a resistance so multiple times, and then once it generated this breakout, it started acting as a support as well. So this trend line is a very important trend line, and right now also it is managing support. But then now when I zoom this chart and when I show you the latest period, so let me zoom this chart first. So if you see the latest period, then you will understand that the stock also has a resistance. So this level is a resistance band and this level is a support band. So the stock is trading range bound. For the last 5 years, the stock is trading range bound, right? The stock has to break above this resistance. So when the stock manages to break above this resistance, then the stock will be an opportunity, or the stock will be an opportunity when it approaches the support level. So support is way down. Right now the stock trades at 120. I know you are interested in this stock because last week there was good kind of buying interest which was seen in this stock, and every time it was popping up on your screen, and therefore the stock must have attracted you or brought interest in your mind. But then the stock is still below, trading in this range, and the stock has to break past this resistance here. Once that happens, then that there will be an opportunity. If you are in my broadcast, if you are a mentor, if you are a member of my mentorship program, and if you get updates from me on in your WhatsApp, then whenever there is the right opportunity, you will get an update about it from me. Okay, till then don't worry, chill, focus on stocks that I post to you on WhatsApp, because the stocks which I post to you on WhatsApp are stocks where there is some action happening, where there is some kind of interest, and where there are good kind of opportunities. Okay, then your next query is related to Happy Minds. The Happiest Minds also is trading range bound, nothing different from other IT stocks. So 813 and 786 is the support for the stock right now, as you can see here on the chart. This is the support band for the stock, and you can also see this is the resistance for the stock. So the stock is trading range bound right now. Here you can see, yes, so this is the range. The stock has to move above this range, or the stock has to move below this range for a view to be generated. Whenever that happens, you can ask me. If you are already in my broadcast list, then you can post your query to me on WhatsApp, and you will get a solution immediately. Okay, next query is put forth by Kishore Patil ji, and he is asking about Varun Beverages. Okay, which is VBL. This is Varun Beverages. Now Varun Beverages is already trading in an uptrend. Kishore Patil ji, you can see this, see a steady kind of an uptrend for the last many years. So right from 2016, if you see this chart, you'll find that the stock has been trading in a steady kind of an uptrend. So yes, There are corrections in between which can be seen, but then overall the stock is trading in an uptrend. So this is a positive. If you are holding this stock, then you continue to hold. This trend remains up. The moment the trend decides to change itself, or the moment the stock gets into a downtrend, is the point when you should think of exit. So right now it is a hold for you. Next query is put forth by Deepak Kumar ji, and he is asking about Poonawalla. Deepak ji, Poonawalla is also trading range bound, as you can see. See, this is the, so these levels 210, 215 is the support, 260, 270 is the resistance. Here also you can see the stock is trading range bound. So the stock has to break above this resistance or below the support for us to review. Whenever that happens, you can ask me again and we will review. But right now the view is range bound. 220 is the support level, and on the upside 260, 270 is the resistance level for Poonawalla. Okay, this was your query, Deepak Kumar ji. Next query is put forth by Gautam Sawant ji, and he is asking about Zomato. Deepak ji, Gautam ji, Zomato I have already discussed, and you can, if you scroll this video back to 1 hour 1 minute, you will find the view on Zomato, right? Okay, so you can find Zomato already discussed in this. Next query is put forth by Saurav Das ji, and he is asking about NB Ventures. Okay, NB Ventures has been showing good kind of strength in the last few months. This 168 and 184 was a resistance for the stock. Even it is a resistance band even now, because the stock has not managed to break past that level of 184 now. Plus, looking at the current levels, it has also made new resistance levels for itself. So this and plus all-time high resistances are surely there. So these are all resistance levels. So the stock currently trades in a resistance band, and it will require a lot of strength for this resistance band to be broken. And you can see this resistance comes from levels made by the stock in 2009, 2010, 2011, then later on 2018, and now recent one in 2022. So plenty of resistances for the stock to break before the stock gets into a free kind of an up move. Now if you look at the short-term chart, on the short-term chart the stock is trading range bound. You can see this range here. So if I have to show you this range, see, this is the resistance for the stock, this is the support for the stock. So you can see, so the stock is trading range bound in this particular range. So 160 is the support, 190 is the resistance for the stock. Once the stock manages to break past these resistance levels, either upside or downside, at that moment you can review the stock. You can ask me again and we will review the stock for targets. But right now it's range bound. If you're holding, then either have a stop loss below the range, support is 160, so below that, or exit the stock, wait for the stock to generate a breakout, and then you can take a review. Next query is asked by Jayji, and is asking about Bliss GVS Pharma. Okay, Bliss GVS is again, this stock also is range bound. What more can I say? So this is the resistance, this is the support. You can see this range bound trade, right? So resistance as 84, support at around 72, 74. Wait for the stock to generate a breakout. Once that happens, then you can do a review and ask me for further levels. Okay, next query is asked by Karan ji, and he's asking about Canara Bank and what target Can Bank and Bank of Baroda. Okay, Karanji, nothing. Can Bank is at higher levels, it is facing resistance. Here you can see this is the range. Okay, let me use this. So this is the resistance for the stock. This is the support for the stock. So overall 220 and 180 is the current range for the stock. You can see this here. So it is range bound. This is your query related to Canara Bank, and second one is Bank of Baroda. Okay, Bank of Baroda. Bank of Baroda is also similar chart. This also you can see a similar kind of a chart. So it's facing resistance here. This is an important level. It's broken below that also. So 92 and 105, 106 is the current range for the stock. So you can see it here. So this also stock is range bound. Okay, next query is put forth by Ramdas Chandil ji. He is asking about L&T Infotech. L&T Infotech is also consolidating and it's trading in a very narrow range. You have to be watchful about this stock because the stock, after a downward trend, you can see it here. After this sell-off, the stock right now is trading in a narrowing range. Okay, so you should be watchful about this stock. If the stock breaks below this level, then it will make a down flag. So which means more lower targets in this stock. Right now it's trading in this support in a narrowing range. So 3800 is the support level and 4100 is the resistance for the stock. So watch these levels. Whenever there is a breakout that happens on the stock, you can review, you can ask me again, or then you can decide your targets. So right now it's in a narrowing range, and going forward in the next few days we may also see a breakout happening. Okay, next query is put forth by Saurav Dasjian is asking about IEX. IEX also is not doing anything. You should be more interested in stocks where there is some interest happening, and those interesting stocks you will get to know from my broadcast updates. This is IEX. What is IEX doing? IEX has a support where at 150, 153 levels. Where is the resistance? At 165, and these are all complete resistance bands. See, you can plot a trend line like this. So it's a 170 and 150 is the current range for IEX. Nothing more for me to tell you about it. It's range bound. This is IEX. Okay, next query is put forth by Sujit Kapoorji, and is asking about TCS. Is it a good time to buy TCS? TCS is in a downtrend. As you can see, TCS has broken resistance, broken a support at levels of 3020. On the downside, the stock can slide down to levels of 2800. That is quite possible. So around 2800 you can review, or you can review once the stock manages to find support at current levels. Once it manages to find support at current levels, gathers buying interest, some bullish kind of activity happening, then you can do a review and you can ask me again if I can buy now. What happens is, when the stock is in a downtrend, only me buying the stock may not provide support to the stock. So it is people who need to provide support to the stock, after which I can think of buying, and then I can think of getting into a trade. Okay, then the next stock is asked by Bulls 9481, and this is, which stock is this? Bulls 9481, which stock have you asked? सर्किट वाला स्टॉक है क्या ये? 517, 514. Okay, Dinda. $22 and 32 is the range for this stock. You can see 22 is the support level and 32 is the resistance level. So wait for the stock to generate a breakout above or below this range. Once that happens, then you can think of getting into a trade. So this is the support here and this is the resistance. So this also is range bound. Okay, so I think now we are done with your queries. Have I missed any query? No, I have not missed any. Not circuit wala. Yes, it is not circuit wala. Yeah, you are right. So it is range bound 22 and 32 as I showed you on the chart. Okay, so we are done with your queries now. Thank you very much. Now next is what do I do? Okay, let's discuss the Nifty and Bank Nifty now. Okay, this is the chart for Nifty future. Okay, now this is the chart for Nifty future. You will also see the levels plotted on the chart. You can take a screenshot of this so that the levels will remain with you. The view is like it looks like next week we will see a bounce back in the markets, and you can see I can plot a trend line here as well. So the market is finding good kind of support at lower levels. Let me plot a trend line, but yes, the trend in the markets will surely be dictated by the kind of earnings that are announced by companies during the recent quarterly earnings season that is going on. But you can watch these levels. Overall, there is positive undercurrent in the markets, and the markets would try and test levels of 16,400 at least once in the coming week. 16,400, 16,460 is an important resistance for the market, as you can see here on the chart. It is these two red color horizontal lines that I have plotted, which are going to act as a resistance for the market. So we need to see as to how the Nifty reacts at these levels of 16,400 and 16,460. After that, the future course of action in the markets can be decided, but overall it looks like to be a bullish week going forward. Okay, so immediate support levels are 15,989 and 15,930, and immediate resistance is at around 16,084. But I believe these levels should be broken. All these resistances are, there is a possibility that all these resistances are taken out and the Nifty moves up to test levels of 16,400 and 16,460. So this is the view for the Nifty, and a similar view would be there for Bank Nifty as well. You can take a screenshot of Bank Nifty where I have also mentioned the support and resistance levels. You can use them throughout the week. And if there is any change, if any levels change, then you will surely get an update from me accordingly. Plus in my WhatsApp broadcast also you will keep on getting updates. So here you can see Bank Nifty also is finding good kind of support at levels of 34,600. So that is an important band. I believe next week Bank Nifty also will see an uptick. 35,600 is quite possible. If that breaks, up move to levels of 36,400 is also possible. But let's see how it reacts at 35,600 first, and then we would decide further course of action. 34,600 is a good kind of support. The immediate support levels and resistance levels are already mentioned on the chart. So you can take a screenshot of this screen so that the support and resistance levels remain with you. Right? This is the view on the Bank Nifty. Now let's look at the chart of Dow, and one last is Crude. So two more charts to see. Okay, now this is Dow Jones. And now, as we have discussed multiple times earlier as well, and plus as I have been mentioning in my broadcast updates, Dow Jones is trading range bound right now. So you can see this range here. This range is between these blue color lines. So this is the support for the Dow, and these levels have been acting as resistance. So the Dow Jones is range bound between 29,500 and 33,270 on the higher side. A smaller range for the index is between 30,300 or 30,400 and 31,500. So that's a smaller kind of range. So this is the immediate support and this is the immediate resistance, but a range bound trade. And because the Dow Jones remains range bound, our markets would also stay range bound to bullish. So I don't expect bearishness in the market until and unless we come across some company coming out with quarterly numbers which disappoint the market. Only then in that case we may see weakness coming back, but until and unless that happens, I don't see the market going down. Okay. Next is this is the last chart that I'm going to discuss today. This is NYMEX crude. Okay, you can see this here. NYMEX, I'll just correct the levels. The levels are, what are the levels? The exact levels. So right now the support level so the support is at 95, 93, 90 and 87. Sorry, 90 and 87. These are the support levels for crude, and on the upside the resistance is at 98, 103, 105, 108, 111, 150. Okay, so don't expect the crude price to go to 124 or 129, but yes, 111 and 150 is also a bit difficult, but yes, we will keep monitoring those levels. So these are the support and resistance levels for crude as well. Crude needs to fall below levels of 93. As crude falls below levels of 93, slowly and steadily there'll be weakness coming back to crude, and we could see crude sliding down to levels of 87 in the next few months. So these are the important levels. But one positive thing which you can immediately see on the chart of crude is the current downtrend that the stock is going, that crude price is going through, and this weakness is positive for the markets. Yeah, it is both sides. So fear of recession is making crude price go down, but then it is again selective and kind of thing. So therefore crude price going down, at least for the Indian market, is a positive. Below 90, below 93, it will be much more positive for the markets. So this is the view on the price of the crude. Nayan Patel ji is, so I have explained you about Nifty, Bank Nifty, Dow and crude. Okay, one last query we'll take about from Nayan Patel ji. Nayan Patel ji is asking about Bank of Baroda. Nayan ji, we discussed about Bank of Baroda right now some time back. I'll just explain to you in short. See, Bank of Baroda is trading range bound right now. See, even if you look at the long-term monthly chart, 90 rupees is the support for the stock, 120 is the resistance for the stock. The same can be seen on the daily chart here. See, this is the daily chart and you can see the same thing. So 90 and 120 is the current range. If you are a long-term investor, continue to hold the stock. If you are asking me from a short-term point of view, then right now the stock is range bound. Wait for the stock to come out of the range, and whenever that happens, you will get an update from me. Your another query that you have is about associate alcohol and beverages. See, the stock for the last 8-10 months is consolidating, as you can see here on the chart. One positive is that the stock continues to trade on support levels. See, this is the support band. So this level of 410, 400 is a support. Acha, there is one more support below this. 1 second. 390. Okay, one more level below this is 380. So 380 and 410 is the support level for associate alcohol and beverages. Till the time this support level is respected, continue to hold. So if you have a position in the stock, have a stop loss at 370. With the stop loss at 370, continue to hold. The stock has to complete its consolidation so that we can review higher targets. Right now we cannot do that because it's not showing strength. But once it starts showing strength on the chart, then we will, you ask me about this stock again and I will let you know about the higher targets, right? So these were your two stocks, Nayan Patel ji. And with this, I believe I have managed to solve all your queries. So we have discussed more than 60-70 stocks today, and I hope all your queries have been solved. Now, till the next time that I join you again in this kind of a live session, if you are a member of my mentorship program, you can post your queries to me on WhatsApp as well. And as I have explained last time also, if you have any stock related queries, what you can do is, there's a simple process which you have to follow so that I can take your queries very fast. You have to go to our website. Our website is precisiantechnicals.com, and I will just show you. See, this is our website here, precisiantechnicals.com. Now, once you go to our website, on the right hand top, you will see this button, Ask Mandar. So when you click on this Ask Mandar button, you will have this form which will open. Here you have to fill your name, email ID, mobile number, WhatsApp number, and your queries. So whatever query that you have, you can write here, query 1, query 2, and then you can submit. So once I start my live session, I can directly start with your queries using the queries that you have already submitted to us, right? So that will save time, and you will also get solutions immediately. So this is the process which you have to follow. A very easy process. You go to precisiantechnicals.com, go to Ask Mandar button, and you have to post in your query. It is as simple as that. And to get to know about when I am going to do a live session, do subscribe to my channel and do press the bell icon so that you are notified whenever I upload a new video or whenever I am going live. You will immediately get to know, right? So today, thank you for joining me in this session. If you like this session, then do give it a thumbs up. Write your opinion in the comment section about this video, this session. And until the next live session, goodbye. Thank you for joining me in this session.